Hi folks, so I've been playing with ChatGPT like the rest of the world, and I can't help but think, how is ChatGPT going to help me as an accountant, as a QuickBooks consultant, as a small business advisor, or how will it affect my industry? How will it affect my customers? So I've been playing and playing and playing with ChatGPT, and I still don't have an answer, but this will be the first of a series of videos I will do called ChatGPT in accounting, and then maybe we can start discovering all sorts of tentacles that ChatGPT can touch on or can penetrate and start affecting when it comes to things related to my world, accounting, QuickBooks, that sort of thing. So let's get started by I opened up ChatGPT. I have basically a blank file. I use ChatGPT Plus, which is like $20 a month. It just ensures that I have the ability to access it when there's a lot of people connected. I almost always have no issues connecting to ChatGPT. With $20 a month, it's really not a big deal. So anyway, so one the things we're gonna play with today is I'm gonna go into the QuickBooks Online community, the help center. This is where users ask questions and other users answer and that sort of thing. And I wonder if I could just grab any random question. Let me scroll down here and click on unanswered. And I'll put a link to this in the description. If you've never been to the QuickBooks community website, you can see, the different questions that people ask. And I'm going to go in here and just click on one of these things here, shipping charges. I don't know what this is. So here's bunch of stuff, bunch of questions. So what should I do with this? I guess we'll go back and read that. I'm just going to copy this and then go into ChatGPT. And then I'm going to start with, I need help with my QuickBooks Online or something like that. So I'm just prompting ChatGPT so ChatGPT knows or understands that the context of the question I'm about to put in is related to QuickBooks Online, just in case in this question, exactly, the word QuickBooks is not here anywhere. So obviously you gotta kind of tell it, what is the question about, so he knows how to answer this. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that. I haven't even read that, and I press enter. And then see what happens. Okay, so it's starting to answer. Okay, fine. I'm just not even going to read this first. Let's go through the question. So this is, imagine there's no ChatGPT, and I was just reading the website, the community website, and I wanted to kind of answer these questions in behalf of that user. So let's go through the questions here. So the first question is, there are shipping charges I pay for the purchases of cost of goods sold. Pay the shipping to a vendor and get items per shipped to an address. So I guess, the question is, how do I allocate? Okay, so that's the question. How do I allocate these different shipping transactions? So here's one scenario. Scenario two, there are shipping charges I paid to ship an order to a product like UPS, USPS, which is also tricky, trying to reconcile shipping supplies as an expense or cost of goods sold. Okay, that's an interesting one. The next question is, when I invoice customers and charge shipping and handling, I've set up an item for this. Okay, so it's just basically all sorts of different shipping charges. Paying for charges to bring the product in, paying for shipping to ship like documents and stuff for your everyday admin, paying for shipping to ship stuff to a customer. And let's see what the fourth one is. When I paid for shipping and handling for supplies that I use to get customers order done. For example, I pay shipping and handling like threads. Okay, all these standard accounting questions that every small business owner will ask their CPA or their accountant. This looks exactly like the type of email I get from my customers. So let's go into ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT answered. So let's go down here and let's go answer. We're going to read answer by answer. So answer number one is, shipping charges for the purchase of cost of goods sold. These charges should be recorded as part of the cost of goods sold account in QuickBooks Online. Okay, that's good. To do this, you can create a cost of goods sold account in QuickBooks, then record the shipping charges as a line item when you enter the vendor's invoice for the purchase of goods. This will ensure that the shipping charges are included in the calculation of cost of goods sold, which is important to determine your business's profitability. I would say your gross margin on product. I think that's probably what this should have said there, because overall business profitability is affected by other things, but very close. I mean, and this is not wrong, but I think it would have sounded better if it would have said, your business's gross profit margin or something like that. So pretty good. So let's see the second one. Shipping charges for shipping an order to a customer. These charges should be recorded as shipping expenses in QuickBooks Online. That's interesting. To do this, create a shipping expense account and then record the shipping charges as a line item when entering the shipping vendor's invoice. Okay, so this is okay, so all it's saying is create a line item that hits the shipping expense account and not cost of goods sold account. I would disagree with ChatGPT on this one. I think that shipping an order to a customer is still cost of goods sold, because if the condition in which the customer bought the product from you is the fact that you would put it in their doorstep, that's all direct cost of goods sold. So ChatGPT, I think, was wrong on this one. So let's do number 3. Invoice, shipping, and handling charges. These charges should be recorded as income. Yeah, okay, right, because we are charging our clients for shipping. I guess that's what it means. To do this, create an item in QuickBooks that represents the shipping and handling charge, and then use the item on your invoice in your customers. Okay, was that the original question? I wonder when I invoice customers have set up an item. Okay, yeah, that's we're all in alignment there. So that's a good answer there. Okay, paid shipping and handling for supplies. If these charges are for supplies that are used to complete a job or fulfill a customer order, they should be recorded as part of cost of goods sold. So this is interesting. So for this one, it didn't suggest that. It suggested some sort of shipping expenses account, which it didn't specify whether that's cost of goods sold or expenses. That's interesting. But for this, it did suggest that. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, so far so good. Probably, well, it's 4 answers and 1 was wrong. So 75% will grade ChatGPT. So can it replace an accountant fully? No, but could this give me a starting point to hit reply in an email and get 75% of the information there? Yes, absolutely. I think this is just a great tool for me to at least answer some of these. So let me just grab this here, and I am going to copy it. Then I'm going to go into here, and then I'm going to answer this question. I guess I could click on join the conversation. Okay. All right. So I click on reply, and I'm just going to answer this person's question. I'm going to open a can of worms. They're probably going to ask a whole bunch of follow-up questions after, but I'm going to answer this person's questions. I'm going to grab my ChatGPT answer. I'm going to paste that bad boy in there. Let me do maybe some mild formatting here. Maybe do some bullet points, some nice looking bullet points. Perfect. Maybe I could do some bold. Okay. But there was a thing I wanted to correct. So in here, I'm going to put to determine your business's gross profit. I don't care for this font too much. I don't know why they use this font. Make this whole thing bold because I can't read much. Okay. And then this one, okay, so this one was the one that we wanted to put. I'm gonna put the same answer here. So I'm going to put, to do this, create basically the same answer. So I'm gonna copy and paste that because that's the same answer in my opinion. Next one is invoice, shipping, and handling charges. Yeah, we were in agreement with that. And there we go. And I'll add something here. I'll just do some self-promotion here and say, we do QuickBooks consulting in my office. And this is a very common question. Hope that helps. So I'm not going to put my phone number or email or anything like that because that might be against the community standards. But long story short, I helped someone with ChatGPT. So I click post and we're good to go. So task number 1 get done fairly quickly, fairly easy. Let's do some more. I'm liking this. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the community here. Let's go look for unanswered questions. Check out my questions answered here. There you go. So it shows as a solved. Well, I guess she's gonna have to. Or I'm not sure if that's a she. Eve, yeah, they're gonna have to mark it solved. But anyway, so let's go on. Let's see what else we have here. Billable expenses. Let's see what this is. Any chance QB added billable? You know what? That's an interesting one. Let's bring that question in here. So I know the answer to this. So there's no billable expenses in Simple Start, and I assume there's not in Self-Employed. So I'm just going to ask the question exactly as it comes in. Let's do a paste here. Press enter. Okay, so this is saying that the last time I knew something about anything, it was 2021. So it says according to the last cutoff, it wasn't available in a simple start, and something about self-employed, probably not available in self-employed either. Good. It says, and if you need it, you need to use QuickBooks Online Essentials or Plus or Advanced. That is the answer. That's the answer. I'm going to copy that, come back in here, click on reply, and paste. Oh, I hate that font. Paste, make this whole thing bold, and we'll put here billable expense features. It's not available. Here, and then press enter here. Okay, so it's kind of a pretty answer. So click on post. Look, you don't need to hire anyone to be a human being dealing with questions for the most part. I think we use ChatGPT to answer most of these questions. Let's do one more just for the heck of it. Let's see. Customers and sub-customers on timesheets. Let's see what this is. We don't need customers and sub-customers in. Okay, fine. Whatever that is. Okay, let me look at the picture really quick. See what this is. It's a non-functional picture. I don't know why they attach a picture there, but whatever. Let me see. Am I looking at this wrong somehow? Okay, yeah, there it is. This is QuickBooks Time. This is QuickBooks Time, formerly known as T-Sheets. Okay, so I do need to add some context to that. So let me go into ChatGPT and say, I have a question about QuickBooks Time add-on for QuickBooks. Let's see if it knows the context of that. Okay, maybe. Okay, so it does understand what that is. Okay, so let me paste that and press enter and see what it says. I actually don't know the answer to this. Okay, I guess it's an answer of sorts here. So it says the option to turn off or display customers and sub-customers in QuickBooks is controlled by QuickBooks Online. If the option is grayed out, maybe it's because QuickBooks Online is set to track time by customer job. To ensure this, that's interesting. I'm not sure if I know any of these things. Let's follow the directions. So accountant settings. Let's do that because I actually don't use that much of this option. Then go to expenses tab. Let's see what that is. Expenses. And then it says find time tracking option and click on edit. Okay, I don't have that here. Maybe it's this one. Let's see. Change the time tracking preference to track time by customer and job, and don't track time by customer to don't track time to customer. Do we have that? Is that even a thing? Yeah, that's not a thing here. Now I wonder if that's that's not here anywhere. So I wonder if that's a setting that only gets turned on once you turn on QuickBooks Time. I don't know. What I'll do is we'll find out maybe in the next episode if this worked. So I'm gonna reply here that says according to my memory, I do not have QB Time installed, something like that. And this is not according to my memory, it's according to ChatGPT. Try this. Okay, and let's just reformat this. It's maybe a little easier to understand, and make this whole thing bold because I can't understand. I can't even read that. Okay, please let me know if this is accurate. So we'll make somebody else work and figure out whether this is right or wrong. Honestly, I don't know enough about QuickBooks Time to know whether or not that's a thing. So that one wasn't interesting. I know, sorry about that. Let's see if we can find another one. Let's see if we can end this video with something more interesting. Yeah, more shipping charges. We can skip that. It's a little bit boring to do the same thing. Let's see what this is. I don't know what this is. Okay. So yeah, bunch of words. Fine. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this into ChatGPT. Okay, I'm gonna put a question about QuickBooks Online, not QuickBooks time, just to make sure that it's not confused and thinking that it's within the context of no longer the context of QuickBooks time. So let me paste that and press enter. Okay, QuickBooks Desktop. Is that QuickBooks Desktop question? No, it didn't say desktop anywhere. So it's giving me an answer of QuickBooks Desktop. Okay. Let's wait until it finishes. Okay, so it gave me an answer for QuickBooks Desktop. And I wonder if that's the same answer for QuickBooks Online, or if it's going to give me a QuickBooks Online version of that answer. But the answer looks pretty interesting. I don't want to read that yet. We'll go back and read it in a second. I'm just going to say, I have QuickBooks Online. See if it corrects itself. Okay, so it's saying here that the process is similar. Okay, right, fine. So let's read through this. So in QuickBooks Online, the undeposited funds account is used as a holding place for incoming payments that have not yet been deposited. Good answer. When a payment is received, whether it's a check, ACH, or QuickBooks Online will record the payment on deposited funds. This increases the balance of undeposited funds and decreases accounts receivable. Accurate, perfect. When you are ready to deposit the payments into the bank account, you can use the deposit feature to select the payments you want to deposit and move into the deposit. That's accurate, okay? This decreases the balances of undeposited funds and increases the balances in the bank. Okay, these are all standard answers, pretty good. Regarding credit card payments, QuickBooks Online integrates with various processors. Okay, that's interesting, such as PayPal and Square. Okay, yeah, you can add apps to bring that information. To process credit card payments when credit card payment is processed. Okay, this is all accurate. However, if processing a credit card payment can take several days and it can result a delay between the payments, that's what makes the undeposited funds account have a balance. In terms of balance of undeposited funds, it's not necessary to be zero very so often, but the balance will fluctuate based on the timing of the payments. I mean, this answer is pretty perfect. What was the question? So this is a question from my CPA about the mechanics of QuickBooks Desktop. Okay. Whoops, it was a QuickBooks Desktop question. That's why it gave me a QuickBooks Desktop answer, so I stand corrected. When you go into the balance sheet and click on Undeposited Funds GL, it says she would expect to see a balance of zero every so often. Okay, I see exactly what the underlying question is that she wants to see that balance. She wants to physically see it on the report. Okay, well, I like the answer that is here. This last piece, it's here. The question behind the question is, why can't QuickBooks sort of group the undeposited funds together? So it's very obvious every time the account goes to zero. Let me explain what that is really quick here. So I'm going to go into the balance sheet. I'm hoping that the sample file that I play with has enough information to illustrate this. So let's just pull up a balance sheet. So we're combining the ChatGPT stuff with the QuickBooks stuff here. But let me go to undeposited funds and click on here. So I guess what the accountant was trying to see, or the question that we're trying to ask, is how come I can't just look at this account and see it go to zero. Let's see if this thing ever goes to zero. Look, this thing doesn't look like it's ever going to zero. And I guess that's the thing that's making that accountant, that's probably obviously not having a lot of experience with QuickBooks and understanding the mechanics of undeposited funds. But it seems like this is the general thing that worries the accountant, that they don't see that balance go to zero. And of course, the reason for that is because there never was a specific period in which the account went to zero. That being said, I can make that account go to zero. Let me go to bank deposit, and I'm going to select all the payments here. So basically every single thing that's sitting in my big undeposited funds account, I'm just going to select them all here and make a deposit. Okay, so deposit for 44,000. Click on save and close. And then I should be able to go back into my balance sheet, and let me do all dates. Click on run report. And at some point, I guess this thing should be at zero. That's kind of what it's supposed to be, unless I'm looking at this wrong somehow. I hate the double scroll feature in QuickBooks Online reports. It drives me freaking crazy. Okay, let me scroll all the way down here. Yeah, so there it is. It's finally down to 0. So I guess the question behind the question that this person was asking is, how come I don't get to see the 0? And ChatGPT did a wonderful job. He explained the entire mechanics of how undeposited funds account works for banks, for credit cards. I mean, it's giving a quick overall explanation of what it is. So hopefully when the person's reading this, they understand. There is there is a particular part of the question, which is really where the humans come into play, which is trying to discern what the person's trying to ask. So I am going to copy and paste this, and I'll just kind of wait. This is QuickBooks Desktop, so let me take the QuickBooks Desktop version of the question, which I mistakenly thought it was QuickBooks Online thing. And then you go come back over here and go to reply, and I'm gonna put star star. I'm gonna put quick answer below. Okay, and then star star, and then I'm gonna put long answer. Yeah, because sometimes some people just don't want to deal with long answers, but I feel that the long answer is good. Again, I'm gonna put this in parentheses, and then I'm gonna come down here and do star star, and I'm gonna put the problem is that in your company file there were not very often moments where there were 0 transactions in undeposited funds because you have a normal business with consistent cash flow. Yes, I know I'm horrible at spelling. With consistent cash flow, and it's normal to have payments pending to be deposited. Okay, the kicker here is the issue is there is no way to force QuickBooks to group payments by the deposits from the report to make it easier for your CPA to understand. Yeah, I guess that's the last piece here, and I'm honestly I don't even know if my answer is even much better than the actual ChatGPT answer. So there's some formatting here. So so that's it. That's what I'm playing with. Long story short, ChatGPT will scour the internet or the whatever information has been fed into ChatGPT to provide answers, and the answers are extremely coherent. They're missing some little things here and there, but as you can see, 80% of the work, 90% of the work of answering QuickBooks questions is being done by ChatGPT, and pretty accurate. It does require that human being to kind of put the finishing touches. So will AI replace the jobs of a QuickBooks consultant and accountant? Not yet. Can it at this point in time? Can it make their life easier? Absolutely. Like I'm just thinking, if I were to have an autoresponder in my email for every single QuickBooks question, and it would say, by the way, this is the ChatGPT response. Try it, see if it works. Give me a couple of days, and I'll give you the human version of the response. That could be a really interesting thing where, maybe my clients get this artificial intelligence answer first, and then maybe it's correct, and then maybe they're trained to understand that they're getting sort of a computer version of the answer. But then later on, I'm gonna actually look at the answer that it was giving automatically, and then maybe just tweaking a few things here and there, maybe highlight them, put them in bold, and say, by the way, that first path that was given to you, the first answer, it's pretty accurate, and I just changed these things here and there, like business profitability to gross profit, whatever. And that's how I can start possibly serving some of my clients. Again, I don't know if a client, a typical small business client working with an accountant, is going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for an accountant that uses AI, to answer the questions. It might feel lazy. The immediate reaction that customers, small business owners, could have with an accountant that doesn't really take their time to answer every question, immediately the reaction could be, hey, I'm not sure if that's worth thousands of dollars. It's this person's only spending 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever answering questions. Again, that's a whole other conversation on whether the 5 minutes is worth $1,000 or not. It doesn't matter. The point is that artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and AI, whatever you want to call it, it is going to change the perspective of what people see professionals as. And they'll still value their judgment, they'll still value the experience, but they'll start perceiving them to place less effort in their work. And that's going to be interesting because I assume that when professional tax preparers used to prepare tax forms by hand, for example, you just print it from the IRS and or go to the IRS office, let's say 20, 30 years ago, and fill out by hand with calculators and stuff. And with that switch to computer-based tax returns, I wonder if customers felt any different about their tax preparers, if they were being lazy or doing less work, or is their work somehow less valuable because they're using tools. And it's possible that in the short term, people could have some skepticism towards whether the professional is doing all the work that they used to do or whatever. But I think long term, AI and it'll just be tools. These are just tools to do your job better. That's all it is. And yes, it could probably get rid of some of the low end work and some employees and people's careers that depended on low end work only they could end. Yeah, I think that's possible. But in the long term, if you're using the tools correctly and you're still applying judgment, you're still applying experience, you're still thinking about it, you're still reading through it, and you're going back and correcting the automatic answers or whatever, in the long term, I think people will not care that you're using AI to help you, because it's just like using a computer when you didn't have a computer before, or using better software when you didn't use software before, or whatever. So don't be afraid of it, man. I really think you should look into it. Open a GPT account. Start with a free one, maybe pay the $20 a month. But I think it'll also price you the amount of interesting things you'll be able to do. And I for one, am experimenting, and I will try to keep you abreast of the things that I discover along the way. Anyway, hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one.